Hi everyone, welcome to today's tutorial where we are going to discuss 3D modeling in Autodesk Inventor. So stay tuned for this tutorial where we show you how to convert your 2D sketches into a 3D model and how to edit that 3D model to something that you need. So once you've opened up Inventor and you have already created a new sketch and you've been in your sketch environment and you've already set up your orientation of your drawing, then we can start to draw our sketch for this tutorial. And if you haven't done this yet and you do not know how to create a new sketch or even set up your orientation of your sketch, please make sure you check out our other beginner tutorials because we've done an in-depth dive into this section. But to get back to this, now we can start to sketch our drawing for today, and let us just start off with a line in our create section of our ribbon. I'm going to select a line and I'm going to start at our origin point for this tutorial just to show you exactly how we can draw this. So follow along in this tutorial so that you make sure you can complete this as well. So we know we've got a 70mm length of a line here. Once you set that up there, I'm going to draw a 38mm line in this direction. And then for this section, I just want to show you, you can use basic math in Inventor to solve these types of equations for you. So as you can see, we did a 126 minus a 70 to get the length of that line, and that is pretty easy on how to do this. And we can do the same for the next section of this line. So I'm going to do 125mm minus our 38 that we've got there to complete that line. So from here, just going to head back to this line and complete our base for this drawing. And if you zoom in, you can see we've got all of these lines drawn up. So to end your line section here, I'm simply going to right click and press OK, and you can then end this section. So from this, you can see we've got a couple of dimensions here. And if you want to edit any of your dimensions on the sketch, you can simply double click a dimension, and you can see for this dimension we actually used a little formula here. But if you have noticed that this is incorrect, you can edit your dimension from this. So it's quite easy. It's a great way that you can start to work in Inventor. And this is now our base drawing. So to get this done, I'm simply going to click on Finish Sketch at the right top corner, and you see that our first section of this is done. So for the second section that we want to do is we want to add an extrude to this sketch, and we're simply going to go in our 3D modeling section in the create section of our ribbon. I'm going to click on our extrude function, and from this, let us just zoom out a little bit so that we can see exactly what's going on. So from this profile, we'll extrude this upwards at a distance of 20mm. So you can simply then just click 20. You can see our extrusion here. And if you are new to the extrude function, please note that you can extrude in different directions here. So you can see we've just used our default extrusion setting here, but you can flip this around to extrude in the opposite direction, or you can even use a symmetrical extrude. So this will be then a 10mm extrude in the one direction and a 10mm extrude in the other to get us our total of a 20mm extrude. And if you want to do something else, you can even use an asymmetric extrude. So this, you can determine your distance for your A and the distance for your B extrude. And this is also a great option when you're working with parts where you need your center of gravity or your center of mass at a specific point. So this extrusion will work when you're doing that, but for the sake of this tutorial, we'll just be using our default extrusion, and we will only be extruding in one direction. So as you can see here, once you're happy with our extrude functions here, once you've populated all our properties here, we can simply select OK, and then our first part of this extrusion is complete. So once our base of this drawing is complete, let's just get our drawing back into our picture here. So once this is complete, we want to, in this instance, draw a new 2D sketch on top of our 3D model that we have at this stage. And to do that, we are going to head to our 2D sketch section in our ribbon. This is in the 3D modeling section. So we're going to select our 2D sketch, and once, let's just rotate this to give you guys an idea. So once you drag your mouse across this 3D model, you'll see these highlighted areas, and this only displays where you want to be drawing your next 2D sketch. So because we want to draw this on top of our sketch here, I'm simply going to select this section, and we will be able to draw our new 2D sketch on top of this, as you can see here. So to do this, I'm simply going to use the line option, and from here you can then see we still have our X and our Y coordinates to match everything up. So I'm going to draw this. I'm going to use my coordinate system, so I'm going to hit my tab button on my keyboard to, let's do our X value is going to stay at 0, but our Y value I want to use 125 minus 55. And once you select tab, you can see where this, well, once you enter your X value as well, you can see a preview of this point that we are going to use. So once you're happy, you can hit enter on your keyboard, and you can start to draw this section. So this is quite simple. I'm just going to follow the outline here, and we know that this section over here is going to be 25 millimeters. You can use math to your simple math to calculate this section, but it's quite easy. So let's do, for instance, let's just show you guys. So we have let's do a 126 for the total distance of this section, and we want to minus 63 here. So once I select tab, you can see it automatically calculates the length of this line, and from here you can simply press enter and then just complete this section. So once I've drawn up this new section on top of our drawing, I'm simply going to right click my mouse and press OK to finish my line options here. And now if you rotate this, you can see we have our new section, and we've drawn up our new 2D sketch on top of this face of our 3D model. So then once you're happy with this, we can simply press finish sketch, and then we want to extrude this section to get the height of this new section, and we want to join this to our existing 3D model. So I'm going to use the extrude function. Once you click there, you'll see your preview screen and your extrude properties pop up again, and from this, your Boolean output, just to note this, there are a couple of options here. You can use the cut option if you want to subtract any information from our 3D model, but we want to join this section, so we're going to use the join function. And our direction of our extrude is in the right direction, and now we simply can add our distance that we want to extrude. So this is going to be a 50 millimeter extrude in this direction, and once you are happy and you entered all your properties, you can simply press OK on your extrude function and see the new outcome to this part. So once you flip to your front view of this section, we can see we have added our height to this option, and this is a great start to this 3D model. So our next section that we are going to cover is to use the fillet function to get the rounding of this edge, as you can see from our little 3D representation in the corner. So to get this function, I'm just going to head over to the modify section in our ribbon, and I'm going to click on our fillet function. So once this pops up, you can see we have a lot of options here with regarding the fillet option here, but we are going to use our normal standard fillet on an edge, and I've already filled in our radius for this, and now you can simply select the edge that you want to fillet. So once you do that, you can see we have this preview of what it will look like. Let's get a front on view, and this is exactly what we want from this. So if you're happy with this fillet function, you can simply then press OK to finish up, and now you've got this great edge that has been rounded, and it's a fast way to do this without you needing to draw this section in manually into Inventor. So now that this section is complete, we can start to work on this new diagonal section that we want to add to our drawing. To get our diagonal section on our 3D model in this area, we are going to sketch a 2D sketch, and from there extrude this and join this to our existing 3D model. So in our 3D model ribbon, I'm going to head to the left and to start a 2D sketch. Once you're there, I want to rotate this part, and I want to sketch on our left hand side here. And once this is rotated, we can simply sketch a simple triangle. So I'm going to use my line function, and I'm just going to plot down these sections here. It's quite simple, and once you're done with that, I'm going to press a right click and OK, and then I'm going to finish our sketch. So now that we've got our new sketch for our diagonal section here, I'm going to use the extrude function to extrude this part, and with this, let's just change our direction of this extrusion, and you need to make sure that the output of this is going to be to join these parts together. So for this instance, I'm going to extrude 26 millimeters. So you guys can see that we still need this edge on this side. We know that we've got a 20 millimeter diagonal section running down here, but we need to extrude this 6 millimeters as well. I know in other CAD software you can use this asymmetrical extrude, and for instance your distance A can be -6 and your distance B can then be 20, but as you guys can see, this just states it is out of range. So Inventor doesn't quite work like that, but we are going to use the one directional extrude, and from there I'm going to extrude the whole distance of 26, and afterwards we'll cut out the section that we don't want to. So now that you're happy with this, I'm simply going to press OK. You can see the next part of this has been done. So this is joined together, but for now we are going to add another 2D sketch onto the surface, and from here we are simply going to draw the exact same triangle that we drew initially for this diagonal section. And once we do this, you guys can see it's going to be quite simple. So I see that line isn't quite there. So now that this section is drawn up, when you're happy with this, we can finish our sketch and we can head to the extrude function. And for this option, let's just select our profile that we want to extrude. And for this, I am going to use the cut option, and we are going to do a cutout of 6 millimeters for us to get this edge. So once you're happy with this, our output is going to be to cut this option out. And once you're happy, we can simply press OK. And we can see the result of this. And we've got our edge, and now our whole 3D model that we wanted to design is complete, and it's quite easy. And this is a great method and great methods to follow to sketch 3D models. And if one of you guys knows how to extrude into different dimensions here, as we said, please comment that down below so that everybody can learn from your knowledge as well. But thanks for watching today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like the video down below, and please subscribe to our channel so that you do not miss any of our new content. Until next time, cheers.